Alright everyone, at a comedy gig tonight. Currently at the gig, we've just had Anvil Springsteen on. I'll face this way so there's a bit of light in my face. Yeah, we're currently in the break, probably got about 5 minutes left. And then we've got an act, and then me, and then Jack Gardner's finishing. A little bit, feeling a little bit nervous. Maybe more nervous than usual. Not too sure why. Possibly because I'm going to try out a new bit at the beginning, a new bit later on. Haven't fully figured out how it all fits together. The audience is fairly small, or well, sparse would be the word. There's a table at the front and then there's people dispersed around the place. But yeah, no, I'll let you know how it goes in a bit. Hopefully it'll be fine. I'm confident. It's going to be fine. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to see actually if somebody can film it. So I might be able to throw in a clip or two, or three, or four, depending how much of it is good. See you soon.
Hello. Yes. Hello, friends. Yes, you met me before. It did. I bumped into our Belgian friends outside. I say bumped into. I found you, didn't I? They were just wandering around outside the metro station, going, I don't know where we are. The main crowd, the important ones, sitting online. You guys, my favourites. Over here we've got the which one of you is the cheerleader? The one who starts the claps every time. Hang on, you can't just shift the responsibility. Is it you? It is you. What's your name? Janet.
Leave her alone. Very well.
I said that she was doing well. I'm just saying that, I don't quite understand the concept of I'm not bullying anybody. Hang on, you guys said you were going to be on my side. We talked about this before. You even paid me for helping you. Which one of you gave me the penny?
Ignore him!
You gave me the penny. Which one gave me the polo? The half a polo. You gave me half the polo. That was my payment for helping them here tonight after they were lost outside the metro station. I've got an interesting story actually about cheerleaders. I think I've not told anybody apart from anybody who might have been there. But one of the compares of the night said, will you be the cheerleaders tonight? And he said to this guy who was, he was a simple folk. He was absolutely massive, had like no neck. And he said, will you be the cheerleader? And he basically just went, what to do? Just call me. And the guy, the MC was like, well, no, I just want you to, start the cheer. He wasn't getting it. And he said, no, babe, all I want you to do is to pass the clap around the room. And this guy went off it. He absolutely went off it. He started shouting at the guy. From the MC's perspective, he might be taking interest in somebody who might have gonorrhea, but the last thing that the MC's going to want on a comedy night is for him to derobe and then start passing it around the room. That's the last thing, I think. Anybody with gonorrhea in tonight? How's that treating you? Did you say fun? Laugh a minute. Anyway, we'll move on from that. You're pointing at what? What are you pointing at? What? Why are you pointing at my trainers? You love my trainers? Well, thank you very much. I picked them myself. I'm getting questioned by the audience. What's going on? Well, the people at the back are shouting at me now. What do you want?
Talk to us, not them. Yes.
Okay, I can't even see you. What's your name?
Mary.
Hello, Mary. Where do you come from?
Gosford.
Good choice of answer. What do you do for a living?
She's the same subject.
I got two answers there. One of which I don't think was from you, Mary. I think I've learned something about you maybe you don't want the rest of the room to know. Well, what is your actual profession?
I don't reveal that.
So you're a sex ambulance, basically.
Ah, man, that was insane, to say the least. Just absolutely crazy. I don't know, I'll probably upload bits of that, or I might just upload the entire thing. But basically, yeah, didn't do any of my set. Just decided to talk with the audience. Again, that's the second time I've done that on a comedy night. the problem was, or the problem is, depending at what point in the video you're watching this, big majority of people from Belgium at the front of the audience, probably about 20 of them. They make up nearly 2/3 of the audience, because there's not that many people in the rest of the room. Probably between 10 and 15 around the outsides of the room. You can't really see them. And I mean, I've talked to them afterwards. I mean, they were full of praise over like my improvisation skills. I mean, some of the other comedians have said, you know, as an improvised set, that was pretty good, which is making me feel nice, because I was a bit nervous. Because it's such a strange room. To do your comedy, like my sort of set, there's numerous times when it hasn't worked properly. I felt it was going to work tonight, but they're a bit loud, they're a bit rowdy. I mean, a fantastic banter crowd. And when I started with that, I couldn't stop. Basically, I just kept on doing it, and I should have timed it really, because I don't know how long I was up there for. It felt like 2 minutes. It could have been over 10. I really don't know. But so much fun. Bit of nighttime recording here. So I'm on my way to the Metro after the gig. The gig is finished. All in all, a good night. I've talked to a singular man at the end of the gig, slightly drunk Scottish man, who gave me his honest opinion of the night. And his thinking was it was a shame that the Belgian crowd essentially stole my set, which is completely true. And I mean, his friends were saying, obviously just ignore him. But him and I think one of the girls he was with did say, well, it was a shame we didn't get to see, the jokes. He said, well, obviously you probably you've probably written material for tonight, and they didn't get to see it. So I think they were wanting to see my material rather than focusing on the Belgian crowd. But he did also say, I shouldn't have just talked to, say, the 10 people at the front, and I did count. I did make sure there was definitely more of the Belgian crowd than the rest of the audience put together. So I was talking to the majority officially. That's not including the comedians in the audience. So that's not including the table of comedians at the back. The correct course of action for tonight probably should have been to obviously acknowledge the Belgians, who obviously I'd made the mistake of bumping into the entire crowd of them beforehand and already starting banter before the actual night began. So the fact that I came on and started that way with them and they started talking back made it a bit difficult to get out of it. When I was actually standing on stage, I do recall thinking I'm not 100% sure how to get into my regular material. I mean, John Scott was on last, and obviously, I mean, he's a professional. He dealt with them. I mean, he just basically swore at them. But he can pull off the whole "I'll just be rude to you and put you in your place," whereas I don't really have a rude in my body. If somebody heckles me, I kind of I don't know. So far, I've just, if tonight's any indication, I just start having a conversation with them. To summarise, I guess, obviously interact with the audience, but don't neglect the other people in the room, because obviously you want them to be having as good a time as you are, which, looking around the room, I presume they were, but one person was not. And obviously that one person might be only one person, in a room of 30 to 40 people, but you want to try your best to please everybody. I know you can't please everybody. I know you can't do that. That's impossible. But if one person comes up to you and gives you constructive criticism, you've got to take it on board. That's important. So I shall, and I will keep in mind next time if I'm getting too lost in the audience banterness to get back on track with my set. Anyway, there's people standing on street corners. I'm going to now put the camera away. See you later.